Yo, what's going on, y'all? Fabian speaks, and we are back with another video. Today, we're doing a video on why you should avoid office jobs and why you should be focusing on remote work or looking for remote work, man. We got several talking points for the context of this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified every time I drop a video for the channel. So, man, it's a beautiful thing to live in 2025 in this modern era, right? Technological advancement, everything is so excessive. We have so many different resources. There's so many different ways to make it, to scale, to leverage your ideas into some sort of endeavor, project, or, starting a business. But with that being said, man, use that to your advantage. Don't live in the past. If you are still clocking in, clocking out, literally manually, what are you doing? And I'll say that in a joking way, but I don't, man. I don't even know who still uses the little punch in box, and like everything is digital nowadays, right? But if you are still going to the office 5 days a week, I know some jobs are very laborious, they're hands-on, they require you to actually be present. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to you guys that have some type of role that has some like digital or technological advancement. Maybe you work off a computer or a laptop. Take note of companies like this, right? Maybe you data entry, things that require you keying things in or taking account, looking at analytics, reports, data, things that basically, let me just phrase it as things that you can do from your computer. And you guys are still in office. Take note of that and be very wary about that company. Because you got to really ask yourself, why do they need me here 5 days a week, right? We're already a slave to this 9-to-5 system. Think about it. You barely have any time to take a break. Literally, your break is Saturday, Sunday. Monday, you are back to work. It's a weird type of cycle. It's a weird dynamic to where it's slavery, essentially. You are a bot, and it's part of control. If you are at a company to where you could literally set up a computer or a home office and do your work remotely, I would highly consider leaving that job or finding another job. I'm not telling you to quit on the spot, but I'm telling you to kind of peel the layers back and look into the necessities there. What's actually required for me to work, and why do they have this type of dynamic set up, man? I rarely, only if I'm in desperation, would I look for a fully 5-day in office kind of job. Today, you got jobs that are hybrid, remote, and they just allow for that much more flexibility, man. If you have an office that is in this type of nature to where, or dynamic to where they want you there all the time, it's like you basically in high school, or you're in elementary school, excuse me. It's like they want to have an eye on you. We are all adults here. We can do a job. If you don't trust me to do the job, you shouldn't have hired me in the first place. I would say think about it like that. And just in the way society's moving, man. Remember when the pandemic happened? I've emphasized this in my live earlier. A lot of people scaled up businesses, right? To where everything was shut down unless you were a mandatory type of industry. They shut down everything, or they made all these companies force you to work remotely, man. I think they should go back to that wave. Why did we leave that wave? Oh, the vid is over with. Let's go back in office. Why? Y'all don't even really like each other anyway. This could be like, y'all may take this context as jokey, but it's not. I'm keeping it honest, man. Being in office is fake. It's not real. There's some people that you consider associates. Maybe you grow over time, but all these company dinners, half the people there don't even like each other. They just keep it cordial or keep it appropriate so it's not an HR case. But the pandemic allowed for us to really think outside the box. And us as humans, we rarely think outside the box. It's always go with this certain narrative. Control. This is how it needs to be. You need to go to a 4-year university. You need to work a 9-to-5. You need to be a business owner. I advocate for being a business owner, but you need to be a doctor. You need to be a scientist. It's just drilled in your head to follow this formula, this blueprint, when essentially it's not one size fit all. It's like trying to put a circle or a round peg inside of a square. That's not going to fit. For some reason, society thinks that everybody thinks the same, and the talents and strengths that you have are similar to mine, which makes zero sense to me whatsoever. And that's the weird thing about the world and society, is that they think it's just one dimensional. And you really got to wake up to understand you're living in a lie. You've been taught a lie since the day you were born. So the way society is moving naturally, we're progressing to a state, and even in the way we communicate, is very isolated in a sense, right? Look at everybody on their smartphones. Families don't even sit down at the dinner table and talk anymore. You got a kid upstairs, you got a kid downstairs, a parent working in the office, and then you got a parent sitting in the living room watching TV. If anything, if that. Otherwise, the home is broken. It's a broken home. People just scrolling all the time. Now, I love the digital era, but it's one of our biggest oppositions because there's no communication. People don't fellowship. There's no community. People aren't genuine. It's fake. People want to live through an online presence nowadays. But what I appreciated about the pandemic is it opened people's eyes to know that, one, you can't support on the government. You can't lean on the government. Them stimuluses ran out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Two, you need to think outside the box and not depend on the man. That's why they said they had this huge uprise in entrepreneurs, people developing businesses, man. The economy is allowing for more flexibility to scale in the sense that we are in this whole recession, right? So you got to look at the negative aspects to economy, right? Or actually the positive aspects to what is a negative, which is a recession, right? People can't work. People aren't getting paid. People can't get jobs. And that dynamic, it's like a dog-eat-dog world. The positive in that outcome is you learn to not have dependency. You learn to actually think as an entrepreneur, a business mind. So that's what I was trying to say is this economy is allowing for the flexibility of creative thought and innovation to scale and have creative projects and things of that sort. So that all ties into this whole office job dynamic. It's a certain control so that you're there 5 days a week. You're there from 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever schedule you work. And then you're in traffic for another hour before you make it home. And then when you get home, you're depleted. You're mentally drained. You're probably physically drained from the drive there and back, to where all you want to do is eat, watch TV, sleep, and do it again. Do you not understand that is controlling itself? You are being worn out to not have the expressive energy to look for ulterior motives or alternate solutions to better your life. You're just controlled so that you can be drained to come back to do it the next day because you're probably living paycheck to paycheck anyway. Think about that. Really think about that. In the social setting, people don't even like each other. It's all small talk. And I don't know about y'all, but I've never been a beat around the bush, small talk kind of guy. I like getting to the depth. I'm that guy, or I was that guy typically starting conversations with people to where they got so good and then the manager has to come around and say, hey, let's get back to work. And everybody's saying, oh, because dang, we was really getting to some meat and potatoes. We was really getting down to the nitty gritty. We were having good conversations. But if you notice, those rarely happen because you may have a 15-minute break, an hour to take a lunch, and you notice how everybody eats out at lunchtime? And that's like the getaway. Oh, let's go get it. Oh, let's go lunch here. It's like Six Flags or Disney World. They're so excited. Where are we getting lunch today, guys? Because once they step out those doors, it's freedom for that momentary, that minute time frame, that hour. Oh, let's go eat this extravagant buffet. And I was always the guy skipping lunch because if I eat a full meal, I can't get my work done. You're all tired and you're groggy. And then think about the cost. Factor in the cost of spending money at lunch all the time. We're going to have a team lunch. Just go, nah, bro. Y'all do y'all thing. I'm cool over here, dude. So when we flip it and we think about things in a remote perspective, the costs are cut down, right? No travel costs. Probably not too much cost towards maintenance of your vehicle the wear and tear that happens over time. Cost towards food. Think about that, man. Think about that. For the longest, I'm remote now, thank God. You know what I'm saying? I got a remote job now. And there's points in time to where I didn't even have a vehicle. When I moved, I sold my vehicle. I was living the digital nomad lifestyle for a while. And even think about that. I didn't have car insurance payment. Costs were cut to that extent. Now, I know that's not for everybody, right? That lifestyle is not for everybody, that nomad lifestyle. But I was doing that for about a year. But it allowed me to actually have this whole alternate view to life, and that life wasn't about this automated bot kind of lifestyle. It's so sick. Excuse me. It's so cyclical. It's disgusting to me. You're in the Truman Show, ladies and gentlemen. You wake up, everybody's watching. You're doing the same things. It's a TV show. It's a rerun. It's a rerun for what? Because I got to pay my bills. I got to survive. Well, why don't you invest in yourself, invest in ideas that actually allow for flexibility, financial freedom, and actually freedom in the sense to where you can travel, do things that you want to do, versus saving up your PTO for that one vacation getaway. You live in that alternate universe or that alternate reality for a week. Oh, no work for a week. Oh my God, it's the life. Then you go back to it. Man, we back to reality. I always thought like this, man. When I went on vacation, I hated it because it was an escape. And then I knew I had to come back to a reality that was literally suffocating me. It killed me. It's killing you in real time. And guess what? You're just a number. They don't care. When you die, we got another replacement for you. Ha ha ha. That's the man. You're working for the man. You are replaceable. No matter the plethora of skills you got or how well-rounded you are, we don't care. We can find somebody that can do the job just as good as you, if not even better. It's a drain. Like I said, mental, physical, financial. They deplete you. They deplete you until they can replace you. So to kind of bring it full circle, think about holistically what I've mentioned in terms of being there every day, 5 days a week. Yeah. It's like, well, we in middle school? Nah, I always look for remote. I can't go back. And I kind of think about the extreme. If I went back today to an in-office job, it'll probably kill me. Going from one extreme to the other. I'd have to be in the middle somewhere. I'd have to have a hybrid role. Few days in office, few days off. It's just the man. They just want to look over your shoulder. Are you getting it? It's a form of micromanagement. No matter how cool your manager is at your job. My manager cool, bro. He don't get on to me. He'll let me do my own thing. You being there 5 days a week is a form of micromanagement. Even when they're not even watching you. It's just the fact that you got to have your butt in the seat and you're accounted for in the present. Everything is digital. Everything is AI. People is fake half the time. They're not even real. Why do I need to be physically present? Being physically present in an office is more of a distraction for me personally anyways. Some people need the social setting. They feed off of it. But I don't know. I think society, we're already getting to the point to where our brain is getting rewired and reprogrammed to not be that way, dependent on social dynamics. So half people in the world use dating sites to dating apps to date nowadays. They're not even physically approaching people in person anymore. It's swipe left, swipe right. And it's a whole bunch of scrolling on social media sites to get your entertainment. Think about that. Really think about that. But those who don't critical think are going to keep living like bots because this type of world fuels them. They're of the world. But people who actually are bosses, people who want to make change and actually have that change come into effect, you have to think like this. You have to. Or else years upon years, months upon months are just going to go by and you're just in the same place. Nothing's changed. So I'm telling y'all, avoid these in-office jobs. Unless you just got to have it. You need to pay your bills. Oh, I got to get a job at a warehouse. Okay, man, you got to eat. Nobody's saying be a bum, be lazy. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm telling y'all, you focus on remote work and that is the stepping stone to your freedom. Because think about it. When you're remote, there's more flexibility. Maybe on your lunch break at home, you can sit down for that hour instead of going out to eat with your coworkers. Since you're at home, you can put together or start building towards a project plan, a marketing plan, a business plan. You can knock out X amount of hours maybe in between doing your work, right? Working on your business on the side. If you got an e-commerce, right? Something that's digital, something that you can do online. That's what I'm referring to, right? Or maybe you even got a shop out back to where you can spend some time, I don't know, building some things. Who knows? There's a multitude of things that you can do. And just even if you're not physically working, your mind is continuously working. When you're in that isolation space, when you're by yourself, minus distractions, you're thinking more progressively. You're already thinking about, okay, well, It puts you in that solo state to where it's kind of like naturally you go into a mindset of fending for yourself. It's like a survival instinct, right? That's where my mind's been for the past 2 years. As you've seen, I started scaling up this channel. I've been working on my other channel. I've started already, putting together ideas for other rollouts. A lot of things that I'm already working on behind the scenes. But sometimes it's just the dynamic of changing your surroundings, changing your life so that you can actually think in a different way. That's why I told you I went on the digital nomad lifestyle, because that allowed me to think differently. I started visiting new cities. I got out of my hometown. I sold things that were just physical, tangible, materialistic things to understand how to operate and think without them for a while. And then I can come back to these things. These things aren't going nowhere. They will always be there. Shift your mind state, your mind frame a little bit, and that'll naturally, you'll start having more innovative, creative ideas. I'm telling y'all, this in-office stuff, leave that for the birds, man. Comment down below. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless y'all. We'll see you on the next video.